Oh, okay. So
Yeah, he's getting it inspected. Yeah, from the fire department.
Okay, well, let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
I gotta have a copy.
Yeah, I'll get it to you. Mic check. David, we're good? All right, good morning, everybody. Today is March 26th. Time is 9 o'clock. We're going to call the meeting to order. All board members are present and accounted for. If everybody can stand for the invocation and pledge. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask your blessings over Green Valley, its employees and ratepayers. Please heal any employee that's faced with challenges at this moment. Please guard and protect them, and please, have them overcome whatever they're going through. Please give this board of directors the wisdom and knowledge to make the right decisions on behalf of the customers and the employees. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank y'all. Okay, public comment. I don't believe we have any at this time. We're gonna go to item D, consent agenda. All items listed below are to be considered routine, non-controversial by the board and will be approved by one motion. There will be no discussion of these items unless a board member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered an action taken as necessary as part of the order of business. Does anybody have any questions, concerns on items D1 through D6? Without any questions or concerns,
I'll
do I
make
have
a motion. We approve consent agenda items D1 through D6.
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Mr. Sherman, second by Ms. McDaniel. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Going to item E, hear updates on the following items from GVSUD General Manager, Staff, Committee Chairs. Mr. Gage, E1, employee recognition.
Okay, good morning, board. It's pretty amazing that here we are all the way at the end of March already, so 3 months into the year. And I'm going to recognize a few people this morning to get us started off, and I'm going to ask the billing department, all of you guys, Brittany, not you, Charles, but Brittany and Emily and Celeste, to come on up. Come on, you guys could do it. But anyway, so here's the deal. So like every month, every week, every year, these ladies are working in the back room and, doing thousands of transactions for thousands of customers, not only for Green Valley's accounts, but for Cibolos accounts, for GBRA's accounts, for Harvest Hills accounts, for Zip Road accounts. They do it all flawlessly. And the reason why I'm bringing up here to recognize them today, Gina was attending a nice conference and getting some training, and she was approached by an outside entity stating how wonderful professional our billing department is and how easy we are to work with. And that's the easiness is working with these ladies right here. I mean, it's incredible the professionalism they have and what they do. And it's just a good time to recognize that we have unsung heroes that are behind the scenes that you can never see them. They're not out front, they're in the back doing back office work, and it's hard work and they do a great job. So I'm going to recognize the three of them. Brittany is our supervisor, and Emily and Celeste take care of the billing. So I'm going to go ahead and recognize these ladies for doing great work, and thank you for what you guys do. Okay. You guys can stand there. Okay, Charles. Okay, now you can't go to where you have to stay. You have to stay. Okay, Charles, come up. So Charles is one of our customer service representatives, right? And Charles is like the steady rock up there. He works the window, him and Jeanette, and takes a fair amount of calls and individuals that come into the office, which that occurs more than you think. But recently, Charles was helping a couple, and they came in to personally thank him because they, to use their word, he knew exactly what he was doing. and he made the husband and the wife very happy. And that was their words, right? And so when you have somebody who takes time to get all the details, to make sure the customers are taken care of, that he knows what's going on and it gives them comfort, that's good. And so that's what Charles is doing for us. And I just want to recognize him for that little thing that he does every day. He does it thousands of times a day, but he does it, and we're really impressed with what he does. So thank you, Charles. Okay, we got to take a picture, and David G is going to take a picture. No, Pam's going to take it today.
You get in?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm trying to hide. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for what y'all do. Appreciate it. And I actually enjoy going on Google reviews and reading all the good comments from everybody on the customer service side of things. It's actually pretty interesting. If y'all have time to read it, do it. Okay, going on to item E2, business and operations GM updates. Mr. Gage.
Okay, so in my memo this month, I added a couple of things that I wanted to highlight to you, but starting on staffing, the memo says 61. We're actually sitting at 60. We did have, the memo alludes to an employee that was leaving within 2 weeks. Well, that employee has already departed, so we're sitting at 60. And we have a ton of applicants that are being reviewed right now for open job positions. And we're trying to get that done. We did fill the meter tech position, so we're 100% in the meter department at the moment. And now we're working on filling this position that was just vacated in the water side. But anyway, just a small update for the memo because things changed since last week. The second section, what I figured I would do for the board here is just kind of, chart the road ahead so you know where we're going in terms of, the big rocks that we have to do for the year. So in February, we did look at our master plans, right? And that's very important because the master plans reoriented, or not reoriented, but prioritized our CIP projects. And that was a big deal, and it goes to our finances, right? So that's part of this financial way ahead, was getting the master plans reprioritized. Today, in this meeting, you're going to look at the kayak fees and water acquisition fees. We have some recommendations for you. Just to note, you can't do an impact fee except for every 3 years. That's changed in recent legislation, so that's the reason why we're not looking at the impact fee as well, because we can't do that every year like we can with kayak and water acquisition. In April, you're going to do the amended budget. We've had one committee meeting already about the amended budget. We'll have an additional one next month with the committee to get that straight. Then in May and June, the staff is working, but the board is not, on the finances, and we're doing rate analysis, getting all the rate stuff done, committee meetings, et cetera, to bring us to the rate presentation to see what we need to do with rates this year. And so that the approval of that will be in July. That feeds into August when we do the annual budget. And then in September, we'll codify everything in the operations policy. That's how it all ties together. So just give you a road ahead. We're on plan. That's the good news. I mean, we're getting our milestones done, and we're getting our governance and business handled that we need with the board. I just wanted to lay it all out to just kind of show you a roadmap. The last piece is, excuse me, on charitable donations policy. That was a new policy for us, and we've been implementing that policy. The bottom part is just a little summary of where we are year to date. We have not awarded our scholarships yet, but the scholarship program is in progress, and we will be shortly awarding those scholarships. That's why it says pending award on the table at the bottom of my memo. But pending any questions, just a little bit more deeper than I would normally go, but I figured it was a good time just to cast the road ahead so we're all kind of on the same sheet of music. Pending any questions?
So I know on the line item for the charitable, I guess, giving contributions, public relations aspect, so we're at pretty much a quarter of it. Do we have any other things lined up for the summer that we're going to be working on?
Well, the way our policy, we have not been approached. The way our policy is written is, we set aside an amount in the budget for it. Scholarships take those off. Those are already like in the budget. But if we're approached for a donation, we evaluate them per the policy, right? So I don't
But we
know
don't
of
have
any,
anything
I don't know
in
of
the
any
pipeline.
pending ones right now. We don't go seek these out,
Right.
right? Our policy allows people to request of us, and we're in that process. So I don't have any on the horizon that I know of right now.
Okay, all right, appreciate it, thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns? We good? All right, going over to item E2II, operations update.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So for the operations update, your executive summary has been updated with all of February's data, and you'll see the trends as we move through the year. For meter sets, we were at 19,921. That's an increase of 95 in the month of February. So that puts us at a 6% growth rate month over month, and we see no indication of that slowing down, which would put us right on the mark for between 11 and 1,200 for the year, which was reported last month. We should officially pass the 20,000 connection mark once we're done the month of March. So we'll hit that mark, and you'll see those numbers next month. For water production, we produced or purchased just over 475,000 acre feet in February. So historically, February is our lowest month, and you'll see that on the executive summary. And then we'll start to see the water production and what's produced and purchased grow as we start to go into the warmer months. People obviously start using more water for their lawns and irrigation and stuff like that. So we'll start to see those numbers move up. Billing. So we billed 448, just over 448 acre feet, bringing in just over $2.5 million, or just under $2.5 million in revenue for the month. Our known water loss, so what we know from flushing in leaks, was just shy of 11.5 acre feet, so right on track with normal averages. And then our unknown water loss was at 15, just shy of 15.5 acre feet, so significantly lower than the month prior. Just for an indication, that's 3% for the month. Last month, we were at 18% for a month, 3% for a month. Right now, we're at about 11% for the year, which puts us right on track. And we're putting in processes to actually make sure we're accounting for everything a little better. So we should, once again, be under 10% once the year is done.
Where did we include the tower overflow thing with the?
So talked with CRWA. We are actually getting a credit for that. So we will get a credit of 500,000 gallons for the tower overflows based off of the faulty valve and the water that was pushed to us.
Good question.
For wastewater, we are up 39 connections in February, so right on track once again with our wastewater. And as we continue to see developments come online, that will only continue to grow as we move forward. Nothing really significant when it comes to wastewater billing. We'll continue to make more as we get those connections. And then for plant utilization, we utilize just over 15% of the plant for the month, so an average of about 112,000 gallons a day. And it's slowly growing, but we're obviously well within capacity for that. In your board packet, you will see the new vehicle tracker. It's at the very end, attachment, I think attachment 3. Just kind of highlights where we stand, and you'll be able to see the 3 vehicles that we intend to surplus next month. So you'll see a memo in the board packet next month for those 3 vehicles. Those are the ones with the blown transmission, and then one that's having significant mechanical issues. So we'll get those off the books and try and get some money back. Pending any questions, that's all I have.
Good.
So I'm going to make one comment though about the sewer capacity. I mean, if anyone of you driven down Santa Clara Road lately, there's a ton of homes going to start coming up over there. What we're going to see is that sewer connection is going to start increasing, and it's going to start increasing quick. They're already vertical up in Caden Springs, and across the road from, it's Caden, right? And across the road from Caden to Marion Oaks, I guess it's going to be called. They're not vertical yet, but when they go vertical, it's going to blow. And we're already vertical down here on Stetson Ridge. So you're going to see, we're going to watch our sewer. It's going to start going up really quickly in terms of connections and flow. But just keep that in mind.
Do we have an idea of how many yearly production that they plan on doing? as
Uh,
far as vertical? I mean, obviously it's sale driven, but as far as specs, monthly output.
I don't know.
We don't have an accurate number.
Okay. They didn't
We've
give you guys
asked,
anything?
they provided some a couple months ago, but, it's fluctuated since then.
Yeah, I mean,
We don't have like you said, it's sales driven, so we can't really pin that down. But we are tracking, it's still the 6% growth that we've been seeing, so.
all right. Thank you. All right, everybody good? Going to Travis, item EIII, or 2II. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to move up in the order, and follow up Brian. We, we have, currently, we have 72 projects in design, 58 in construction, and 5 in closeout. With those 5, probably by the end of the week, we'll be closing out 2 or 3 of those. So, the added connections, you'll definitely see a drastic change in that. As Phil mentioned, there's quite a few developments out there that are the first couple units of each one are starting to come online. It's not they're not capital improvement projects, but we're looking to close out at least one lift station and starting construction on a couple others. So wastewater, water's been steady for quite a while. We'll definitely see wastewater production picking up quite a bit starting this summer. On the capital improvement side, I have a cup of coffee here. It's my second one today. And the reason for that is I have multiple designs on my desk that need to be reviewed. So my attention to detail will be very high this afternoon. I currently have Plant 10 rehabilitation, Plant 9, and there is one more. I believe we kicked off Plant 15 yesterday. And so I have those designs on my desk. 2 of those are 60% design, and then Plant 9 is what we're calling a 95% design because we've added the ground storage tank to that. And so pushing in that ground storage tank component put a gap between 90 and 100 to give us time to review the ground storage tank before we go to 100% design. So we're hoping to get that one out here either next month or the following month to get that bid and ready to go. As for Lower Seguin water line, I've given the green light to our consultant to start survey. We have majority of the right of entries, and the ones we don't have, I've asked the consultant to kind of utilize what they have to work with to get some of that surveying done as we continue to negotiate with the landowners. Santa Clara wastewater treatment plant expansion, the 1.25, it's progressing well. Our consultants are moving into 90% design on that. And then the Plant 11 expansion, it's pretty much wrapped up. I provided a progress photo. There is only, other than small punch list items that are common with each job, there's only one long lead item we're waiting on, and it's a valve. And it should be here next month, and as soon as it gets in, it should be a simple installation. Yes, sir.
The Santa Clara 1.25, what is the ETA for the 90% design? On the Santa Clara, what's the ETA for the 90% design drawings? David was waving at me, sorry.
I'll give you an update
Okay.
after.
Don't
I
worry,
don't
just-
have it off the top of my head. I could provide it next week in the construction.
That's fine,
committee.
just, based on general manager's comments about, the next couple developments coming.
We're well ahead. Just put it that way. We're well ahead, and we'll meet any timeline. We have to start design prior to 70% capacity being met. We're already there, and we'll be in construction well ahead of the 90%
That was my
capacity.
understanding based on our committee meetings,
Yeah.
but it's worth asking and
No,
reminding everybody that, we can't have to keep pressing, so.
Yeah.
So real quick to add to that, so everybody's aware, same page, we're going to 100% pretty soon,
Yes.
right? We'll put it out for bid, and then we're gonna go for financing on it, and then we're gonna secure the financing next fiscal year.
We would
Not
probably
this
secure
fiscal year.
financing before we go out to bid.
Okay,
to have-
well, yeah,
Yeah.
either way, we're not gonna like lock in the bond rate or anything like that until FY 27.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So kind of the glide path on that is we don't want to take down any debt for this project this year.
Right.
Right. So in this FY, so we're setting up the hurdles, so to speak, to hit early part of 27 to take down the debt. I mean, so that does a number of things for us. It gets us another audit cycle under. underway without taking on new debt, right? So we do that, helps us with the checkbook and all that stuff. But it lines up with the rather archaic, I guess I would say, process to look at Texas Water Development Board funding for this. And that's the source we're probably most likely going to use, just because we can get a preferential interest rate
Right.
on that. So yes,
But
no debt this year. Early next year is kind of the glide
Right,
path.
so we secure the debt, we go to construction, and we're still projected ahead of schedule of
Yes.
when
Yeah.
we're actually going to need
Right.
and stay ahead of
Yes.
growth in a way,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, and the
So-
plan will be online. It'll take at least 2 years to build. And so, we're looking at second quarter of probably 29 by the time we get in construction, finished
Finished
with
construction.
construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in
I was gonna say,
construction,
we're-
finished with
we're not
construction.
budgeting for
Yeah.
29, it's pricey. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So,
Cool. Real quick, I had a question on the water tower on Cibolo Valley.
yes.
So I see here FAA permitting to, take it down, right? How is the takedown process? Is it gonna be chunk by chunk, or are they gonna crash it into the ground?
So we leave that up to the contractor. It's basically, we don't dictate the means and methods of that, but
From what y'all
they
know so
probably won't be
far?
crashing to the ground
Yeah.
with being close to houses. And my guess would be they would
Piece by piece.
they would use a crane, hold it up, and just start chopping legs and piece by piece lowering it. Because the crash method you see online, that's usually an open space with a major thoroughfare being right there and houses that close. You're really
Chancing it.
running a risk there of
Want to make
doing
sure
some
we're all on the
damage.
same
Yeah.
page, okay?
Yeah, we leave that up to the contractor. We don't want any liability on that, giving them direction on how to do it.
And
So-
when that one goes offline, we're okay, loop system,
Yes.
everything, pressure,
So
feeds, all
the-
that.
To sequence it, they will build the new elevated tank
Mhm.
prior to taking down the old one. We'll build the new elevated tank, put that online, and then the ground storage tank that has a bulge, for lack of better terms, then they will take that down because we'll have the added storage in the
Capacity on that one.
capacity in the elevated to take that down and put the new one online.
Perfect.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Feel a lot better now.
good.
It's gonna be fun to watch, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of wish they would just like drop the legged tank. They did that in Lavernia and it was great to watch, but I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
but probably not. Neighborhood's too close.
Yeah, it
Cool.
could be risky.
That's all the questions I had on that stuff.
So what is the actual completion date for Plant 9?
Plant 9 right now is estimated in March, this time in 2028. So it'll, those guys move pretty fast. It's a pretty, I don't
That's
know.
all the way putting the new one up, taking it down, everything complete?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. The generator will be part of the package of the elevated storage tank. And so we'll probably bid it in two different packages. We'll build the elevated tank and generator, and then we'll bid the ground storage tank separately, because one's gonna sub out the other work if we do it in one package. So
But you gotta make sure James signs the tank as it goes up, so.
you could all be invited to sign the tank if you'd like.
Appreciate it.
You could write whatever you want to, because nobody's gonna see it from 200 feet.
Awesome.
Just one question if I can, and I'm going to ask you about Lower Seguin. The completion is for completion of design, right? You
That
have-
is actually full completion date. That will probably be pushed with pending right of way and easement acquisition.
Hey.
It's an aggressive schedule.
It is. That's what I was.
It's not hard, depending on when we go into construction, with pipe contractors,
Yeah,
they're in open country there on flat land. Installing pipe, they're gonna move quick. So.
yeah.
But yeah, I would anticipate, right now, we haven't had a schedule update from the consultant, but I would anticipate that shifting a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm just giving you what I got right now.
Well, yeah, because people out there are going to ask me.
I'll keep you informed.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, last call for questions, concerns. All right, moving on to, we're gonna take E3, E4, E5 into executive session. We're gonna go to E6. Anybody have comments on 6I, double I, triple I? Any of the chairs want to bring any highlights out that can be talked about in open session? Good? Everybody good? All right. Good job. Now moving on to item F, review progress and approve updates to the GVSUD strategic plan.
Okay, so this one's exciting because, just a little bit about the strategic plan. When we started this thing out, the strategic plan really has two purposes. One, it helped us identify what we wanted to be and where we wanted to go. And then it had an implementation plan of it, which is essentially a list of tasks for the staff to work on that's going the direction that we all chose to go collectively with the strategic plan. So the last time, Brian and I are going to tag team briefing this one. Go to the next chart, please. So basically what we're going to do this time is we're going to lay out the progress on the items that we've made, and we're going to tell you which ones that we want to adjust. Either we want to add some tasks, we're moving some things from some categories to other categories, and then we're deleting some things that we think we've already accomplished or we've already approved, right? So at the end of this, we're going to simply ask the board to say, yep, Roger, we approve, and that signifies the board and the staff are on the same sheet of music, so we can keep progressing along the plan. So Brian will take us through it. Next chart. Next chart. And then just for, you guys already know this, but just for a refresher, we do have four major, I call them lines of effort or strategic goals: modernize infrastructure, optimize resources, refine the organizational professional culture, and then finally engage the community. Those are the directions that we're going, and Brian's going to give us the details of where we are and where we're going further. So go ahead, Brian.
Good morning again. Next slide. So once again, the standard chiclet chart, as we used to call it in the military, kind of red, amber, green, shows you where we stand progress-wise, what has started, what's in progress, and what's kind of complete. And then you'll see some remarks that we have on the side. So we'll start at the top and we'll work our way down. So within modernizing the infrastructure and operations, we've changed all the subtasks within SCADA, mainly because we've upgraded a lot of our system, and we're good to go. So at this point, it's really just maintaining the system and making sure that it's upgraded. So the new subtasks are realistically new infrastructure integration. So that would be Plant 15, the new plant elevated storage tank at Plant 9 as that comes online, making sure that that's all integrated into the system and all that stuff. Making sure that our software is up to date, so if security patches are pushed out, that they are implemented within a reasonable time frame, and then hardware upgrades. So as our hardware expires, just making sure that we're upgrading it with the newest technology and whatnot, and making sure that it's all integrated. For AMI, for installing antennas, so we are at 7 antennas installed at the moment. And we are awaiting a new study for additional antennas. We do plan on purchasing 2 more antennas in the near future, and we think so that'll bring us up to 9. Our initial assessment was maybe potentially 11, but with the 2 new antennas that we're going to get in the new study, we should be able to determine exactly how many we're going to need to actually cover the entire service area for AMI, but we're on track with that one. And we're still working on transitioning over some of the old meters to the Neptune meters. That'll obviously take a little time, and whatnot, and that's within the budget.
So do we have a timeline on all the Neptune meters being done?
I think we still have a couple thousand, we still have a couple thousand meters that still need to be changed out. I mean, so as
New meters are Neptune.
every new meter that goes into the ground is a Neptune meter, correct?
So we're just waiting for the last stragglers to get picked up. Are we talking
Yes, sir.
3 or
Yeah.
4,000, or do we have an idea?
Well, it's less than that. It's less than 2. I mean, Kim might know off the top of her head. But the goal here is like, we originally said that we want to change out all the older functioning meters into the Neptunes, right? Well, then, as you look more into it, we're putting AMI antennas up there and we're starting to collect data. Right now, we're at about 86% of our service area with the antennas we have now. All right, well, if we're going to drive around and just rip functioning meters out of the ground, that didn't make good business sense, right? Because what we're balancing is the number of new meters that we're putting in the ground versus just sending crews around to change out functioning older meters. That didn't make sense. So once we get all of our AMI antennas up, then we will put we'll put the effort into changing all over to Neptune. But right now, it just didn't make good business sense because we can't read them all with the antennas yet anyway. And so we've kind of changed that scenario where we originally were like full court press, change them all to Neptune. But when you really step back and look at it, that really doesn't make business
putting
sense.
the
We're
cart before
throwing
the
we're
horse.
throwing money away to get to a point that we couldn't read the meters anyway because the
Right.
antennas weren't installed. So that adjusted the trajectory a little bit, if that makes sense.
Okay. So in theory, though, by what do you think, in next year, end of next year, should be kind of wrapping it up?
Potentially so.
Okay.
And it's a balance between how many new meters we're setting
Mhm.
and how many, crews I can send out to
True.
change out I mean, so
So
there
we're
is.
not
yeah.
having to ever change this anytime soon in the future as
sir.
far as
No, sir.
redoing the whole system.
Once we get the AMI antennas up there, and the plan kind of reflects this in that category. Once we get them all up, we can read all of our meters via AMI. There's probably going to be some stragglers, of course, but I mean, it'll be way closer to 100% than we are now. Then we can start looking at other things. How do we enable customers to view their usage in real time? That's one of our goals, right? Is to be able for customers to do that. We can't do it until we get fully enabled, right? So the key is the antennas,
Yeah.
right? Once we get that done, it'll progress from there.
What's the lifespan on the new meters?
On the meters?
Yeah, the
I
new
don't-
ones.
Like
I don't
15,
know,
20
Kim, do you have
years?
any idea of what the meter lifespan is?
15 to 20 years last I
For a
got told.
Neptune, it's a long time.
About 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
any one of these meters, do we know they're approaching failure or do they just quit working?
Well,
I'm just curious.
Sorry.
go ahead. Give her the microphone.
I'm sorry.
Give her the microphone.
We don't get any indication other than the meter will start slowing down. We check usage, the
Okay.
usage starts going
So
down.
that's something we kind of take into account.
Right.
Okay, just curious.
I mean, the meters we have is like one of the most, the best industry standard you can pretty much have, right? There's different ones. I mean, this one is regarded as one of the high-end meters. So whoever made that decision, it's a pretty good decision back in the day, but there you have it.
All right. Thank you.
Moving on, the second initiative, so the improving the automated financial process. So the finance department has implemented numerous SOPs and policies in reference to purchasing, write-offs, capital investments. So we're definitely making progress on that front. The third initiative is standardized environment compliance and procedures. We're officially recommending that we remove that initiative. So attachment 1 is how we track all of our water. We're pretty on point with that. I think as we showed last year, where we were only 5 acre-feet off from what Edwards was saying that we actually pumped to what we actually did pump. So we feel pretty confident with how we're actually tracking our water usage and what we pump and purchase. So we'll officially recommend removal of that one. And I'll highlight all of the changes in a summary at the end as we move forward. So asset management, we're at about 60% for everything barcoded. Our goal is to get to 75% by the end of this FY. So we're on track for that. And then we're building our bench stock. So just the materials that we constantly have on hand and parts that we need and we use on a regular basis so that we always have them available. For the enterprise resource planning, we conducted a demo on 18 March of a new program for that, and we're looking into potentially moving over to that. I know there's some discussion within the management group and between the various departments as to the functionality of that stuff, but we are looking at those options as well. The next one down, develop a user-friendly mobile application. That has been moved over from engage the community, so that's more of a modernization than it is engaging the community. It's new technology and all that stuff. So that's literally just a drag and drop from the engaging the community and moving over to modernization so we can track it where it should be tracked appropriately. For the water and wastewater master plan, at the previous update, it was to adopt the wastewater master plan. This one, the subtask is now to update the wastewater master plan. Just like the water master plan, we'll do this annually. So that's that one, and Travis will handle that accordingly. And then finally, at the very bottom, identify and achieve an industry best standard award. So we have submitted numerous personnel for the AWWA Operators Meritorious Service Award. And then I know that we are currently looking at submitting Green Valley for the GFOA Budget Excellence Award. So trying to get Green Valley some recognition on various fronts for that one. Pending any questions on modernization.
GFOA. I'm not
Tina?
familiar with that acronym.
Government Financial Officers Association, right?
Close?
Yes, sir.
That's it. Good job.
Yep.
Okay.
So what that is really quickly, like, so our good friend Mustang Sud, right? The largest Sud in Texas, our good friend, they won this award, and by God, I won it, right? So, I mean, so there's that.
Well, I think the way our departments are operating now, we have a wide variety of opportunity to achieve recognition. So I like that. The recognition is my favorite part of the meeting. Let's find a way to hold up a plaque and say, look what we did. We beat everybody else
Stack
out.
the trophy case.
Stack the trophy case, exactly. So yeah, I like that
Soon
one.
to be installed trophy case. So, Brian, before you jump ahead, I hate to actually point out the next to the bottom line. So what's the deal there? Digital security, physical security.
For
No notes, we feel good, we're working on something, what's the scoop?
So we are working on the digital security SOP. I know that's in the process of being developed right now. And then physical security, I know there's some initiatives we're looking at. I know we need some more cameras and stuff within the building, mainly in the back building, so that we can monitor all of that stuff. But I can definitely have an update, and I can provide you a further update.
I'd be kind of curious for a brief on how we assess our level of security. And, I don't know if we need a new IT guy or something. Just kidding, David. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But I am curious. I'm curious in the world that we live in. I just want to make sure that we are doing everything we can do to, to protect our systems and so forth.
I don't know if FEMA or Homeland Security can give us an audit from their perspective, if they even offer that to show, hey, we rank Green Valley in this category. They can improve here or there. If you can reach out to your contacts, see what they can offer.
Yeah, Homeland Security will test your
We can definitely look into that.
Also, too, though, when it comes to the physical security, so we're not just talking just the building itself. We're talking all the locations, all the properties, the towers and tanks and everything. So when do we expect that SOP to be published?
By the end of this FY. So I know we're working on installing the cameras at various facilities. So we just did Plan 11. So we have all of that stuff, and it's fairly cheap. It doesn't cost us a lot in order to get it all in place. I think for Plan 11, it cost us just under like $800 to put up 6 cameras and all that stuff. So, but we are working on getting all of the sites online. It's just taking some time, obviously budget and making sure we have the funds for it and all that stuff. But I can have something guaranteed by the end of the FY.
And, I don't know if some of that needs to be public information.
Correct.
If it's
Correct.
cybersecurity related.
Internal. It's
know,
just
Yeah.
that we at least have
If
it.
we need to do some internal briefs.
Right. All water providers are a target for
Correct.
bad actors. So
More now than
let's not
before.
put it on the cover
so.
page of our website, exactly what we're doing.
Well, if we put it on the website, no one would read it, but,
Is there, due to the climate that we're currently living in, is there a way that we can speed that up a little bit?
We can. I mean, we can definitely speed it up.
At least on the physical security side of things.
Okay, let us robust that task up a little bit for you guys. So, good
right,
thinking,
thanks,
good guidance. We'll incorporate it.
carry on.
Next slide. So optimizing water resources. So the main changes here, our subtask was to create a strategic water committee. We have done that. And so now we're going to maintain the strategic water committee with the the sole initiative of identifying 10,000 acre feet within the next 10 years to ensure that we have the appropriate amount of water for Green Valley and our ratepayers. So for that. So improving system interconnection. I know Gary and UEG are currently working on a water resource study as to where to land all of the water that we do get to make sure that we're optimizing everything appropriately and that we're there. For the rehab of Plant 10, we're at a 60% design for that one, and that's with Travis for comments. That's one of the designs that he has on his desk. And then cost-efficient water usage plan. We do have all of the information in for the water utility profile. We just need to get the ability to download it. We don't know why it's not available in the system yet. We've reached out to Texas Water Development Board. As soon as we have our water utility profile downloaded, we can resubmit the water conservation and drought contingency plan back to the Texas Water Development Board for their review and to make sure that we are good within their standards. And then once they tell us, yes, we're good with all of that, we'll we'll have one more committee meeting with the policy. And then if the committee approves everything, we'll bring it to the board for formal approval and all of that. So I'm hoping to have that done. Maybe not by April, depends on how long Texas Water Development Board takes, but I'm hoping by May or June at the latest to definitely have it at the board for final approval for that one.
And we'll probably need a conservation committee meeting. So once we get comments back, we'll schedule a committee and then tee up the committee prior to the board approval, sort of our standard process.
And then down at the bottom, so the Reclaim Water Program. So TCEQ has authorized, they did give us authorization in October to do Reclaim Water. Claire has all of that information and we're good to go there. Pending any questions on optimization? Next slide. So for refining the organization's professional culture. So for the first one, reviewing employee benefits, we're going to recommend removal of this initiative. We've updated our benefits for both medical, our retirement plan, and all that stuff over the past year. So we'll officially recommend removal of that one. For recruitment and retention program, we are actually doing our first job shadow day next Tuesday. We'll have 12 students from Marion and Seguin come to Green Valley. We're going to go down to the wastewater plant. Claire's going to give them a tour, show them how she does testing and all that stuff. We'll bring them back up to the headquarters, show them around the headquarters, and then the water department is going to set up a kind of like a show and tell. I don't want to say show and tell, but we have a hydrant that's kind of cut into a quarter, and they can see the inner workings of a hydrant and how that operates. And then we're actually going to hook up to our hydrant and simulate a leak so that they can and have a crew out there to actually show the kids how they put a collar on to a pipe and then actually repair a leak as if it were actually in the ground. So we'll have them from about 9:30 to 1:30. To end the day, we'll have a lunch and a Q&A session in here, and they can talk to the employees and the management team and all that stuff.
Very cool.
For job descriptions, those are going to be annually reviewed. As we grow, job descriptions are changing. New positions are being developed for supervisory roles and whatnot. So we'll annually review the job descriptions and make sure that all of that is copacetic. For the employee evaluation process, that one is once again going to be an annual thing. We have implemented a process. We are working towards that. In August, the employees do their self-evaluation, and then in September, the supervisors and management do the official review and give them their feedback and all that stuff. Yes,
Just
sir.
a quick thought that you spurred a thought that annual reviews, is that policy actually written down that we will provide annual reviews?
Yeah, it's in
Okay,
our
great.
policies.
'Cause
And,
I've
you know,
been
our
other places-
methodology is pretty cool because the self-evaluation is also pretty much a climate questionnaire too. Like, so the questions that the employee has to answer is like, do you have what you need to do your job? Do you get good guidance from your supervisor? You know, do you have any issues? You know, how do you feel about you performing your task? So it's kind of good because it gives us a gauge every year, just kind of like a climate survey to see how everyone's doing. So, yep, we'll start it in August. It's already on the calendar, ready to go.
Glad to see that because other places I have worked with or worked for, it was in name only, yeah, we're gonna review you every year. Well, 3 years out and you haven't seen one.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Well, what's unique about ours too, and not to belabor it, it's tied to the budget process, right? So exactly how it's done, we know how much money we have before the budget. We do the self-evaluation, we do the evaluations, and then when we start the FY, the end of the evaluation ends with, are you getting a raise or not, right? And so it's all tied to the budget process. So it's an entire system.
Continuing on, so third from the bottom, the employee board of directors onboarding program. So created newcomers brief for all Green Valley employees. So we have created that, and Phil actually gives that during the quarterly safety brief. So all new employees that we get within the quarter, once we're done the safety brief, they stay behind. Phil gives the newcomers brief to the new employees. We actually just did it last week for a handful of employees, and then Travis is actually going to be giving that brief to the Shadow Day students while they're here. It's a once over the world of Green Valley where we currently stand, and highlights all that stuff. So we have implemented that. For professional qualifications, we do encourage all the employees to continue to develop professionally. I think at the current moment, we are well over 50 licenses within the company, and I know at least within the water and wastewater department, they are continuing to push. Some guys are getting ready to go test for their Bs, and I know some guys are already taking classes for their A. So we definitely encourage that across the board. For risk management and safety planning, so we have instituted basic first aid and CPR training. We do that on as an as-needed basis, usually once every 2 to 3 months, and we'll get as many employees as we can in on that one. Somewhere around 6 to 10 is probably our max, but to work on first aid and CPR training so that we are trained within the headquarters in the event something does happen. Pending any questions on refining the organization's professional culture.
Let me just make a comment here if I can. I sent an email last month, and I don't think we can say it enough. You know, if you put the culture on a meter, it's shocking how much that needle has moved in the last, I don't know, year or more. So I would imagine everybody sitting on these tables over here are a big part of that. So I just want to make sure that I say thank you to every single one of you, because it is remarkable, the change. So thank you.
I just want to make one quick comment as well. I sat through David Duff's CPR training course, and he does a really good job of it. He's very engaging. He keeps the class interesting, and I actually did get my CPR certification through David.
I know we went to that Grow Summit, talking about the schooling. So the Texas State Technical College, I think it's Texas State. But if we can see how, because we have all these licensed individuals, right? I don't know if they take the licenses into college credits or vice versa. I don't know how that works, but if we can partner up with them in some way, shape, or form to say, hey, here's what we do, here's what we've been doing, what do you guys offer? Or, you know, do they have interns from there that want to come over here and whatnot? I know they're very close to our CCN, so we can build that relationship with them.
We can definitely look into that.
I'll stick
And
Jennifer
again, yeah,
on.
to Britt's point, keep up the good work.
So
Good, we're
next
good.
slide. So engaging the community. So definitely some changes on the engaging the community. So now that Ms. Colby is here, we're able to start getting after some of these tasks. So the public relations campaign and corporate social. So we do currently have a draft for the public relations campaign. So Jennifer's working on that one, and that ties into really engaging the stakeholders for Green Valley. So that's in development, and we should have that in implementation within the next, I would say, 2 to 3 months max, somewhere around there. So we should be
Just to
good.
give you a sense of progress on that one, so Jennifer's pretty much got a stakeholder analysis done at this point, where she's got all the stakeholders identified. Now she's moving into the next phase about how do we want to engage with the various stakeholders. So it's going to take her a little bit, but I mean, that's where she's at. So it's definitely in progress now to support our strategic plan essentially. So she's working on it.
The second one there, the user-friendly app, as I mentioned before, we moved that over to modernization. So just so you could see that's exactly where it came from. The third one, this is a brand new one, the develop a PR campaign for launching a user-friendly app. So that is definitely an engaging the community function. So while we can build the app, we actually need to be able to get it out there and make sure that the community is aware of what's going on. So that is in addition to the strategic plan. And in reality, that initiative, we can't do anything until the mobile app is created for obvious reasons. I mean, you can't really tell the community about anything that we don't have yet. So that one will obviously be on the back burner until we can get the app created. For the scholarship program, you're fully aware that the scholarship program is up and running. The policy has been formally approved by the board. Application window is currently open, and I know that we're awaiting submissions for that one. And I think we have a couple already that have already been submitted. So that's a win for Green Valley. And then the very bottom one, that is also in addition implementing a charitable giving policy. The policy has been approved by the board. I know that we have funds budgeted, and it will be an annual requirement within the budget. And then obviously those requests, as Phil mentioned earlier, those are on a case-by-case basis as they're submitted for review. Pending any questions on the engage the community. Next slide. So this is just a summary of everything that we realistically just went over with the various updates, the additions, and then any recommended removals. So for just again, the removals, we're recommending that we remove the environmental compliance procedures. That's realistically how we track the water. I think we do that fairly well with our attachment 1. And then removing the employee benefits with what we did over the past year for that. So we're officially, next slide, we are recommending that all the updates, additions, and any changes that we've made to the strategic plan be formally approved by the Green Valley Board at this time.
So real quick on engage the community. So April 30th, we have the public forum on that one. When do we want to start promoting that? Because we're like almost a month out from it.
Probably, I would say probably about 2 weeks out. So if you do it really any sooner, if we start doing it now, then it'll be a flash in the pan and people will forget. I think any more than 2 weeks would be reasonable.
Well, I spoke with her just incidentally in the hallway. One of the hardest things for her is going to be to get community interest to show up. So I'm sure she will come up with a lot of ideas or anything the board can help to do to promote that.
I remember the room being full last year, so.
Well, they were scared of the lack of water.
Well, if they've been reading the news, Corpus has been on national news now this week.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So Brian, I'm gonna ask you one question under the professional culture section. So what does staff think of the new retirement, the TCDRS program? Is that, I don't know if everyone remembers, I wasn't the biggest fan of that. So I feel like, is it landing well? Do we like it if we're gonna remove the item?
From, at least from my perspective, sir, I have not heard one person complain.
All right. Well, I had to ask one more time and make
Oh.
sure I get
That's the
my,
safest answer you could say.
Very politically correct.
do you need an action?
Yeah, we gotta adopt all the updates, actions, and changes.
Okay, so does anybody else have a comment? I'll go ahead and move us along, make a motion. I'll make a motion that the board approves all updates, additions, and changes to the GVSUD strategic plan as presented.
I have a motion by Mr. Sherman, a second by Mr. Hendricks. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you for your hard work on this, and the Chicklet chart is a great tool. So, all right, moving on to item G, review and approve the water acquisition fee. Mr. Gage and Gary.
Okay, I'm going to tee this up, and I'm really going to make one comment for the next 3 agenda items, and we'll let Gary, present his analysis. So what we're doing here in items G, H, and I, we said a long time ago that we wanted to conduct an annual review of our fees, and that's what we're doing. So we're looking at water acquisition and kayak fees for Clearwater and then for Santa Clara. In Clearwater's case, Clearwater's a new plant and is going to be shortly under construction, is beginning right now. There is no kayak fee associated with Clearwater at the moment. The way that plan is organized, there's not going to be, we're not going to be receiving a kayak fee from anybody for the long future, because that plant's going to be completely funded by the developer under their contract with us. But we needed to go ahead and set a fee. So that's what we did on that one. What we've tried to do in general with all the fees is to do, since it's an annual review, you're not going to see a big jump. I mean, so we're incrementally adjusting our fees to the market conditions, to current prices. Is exactly what we're doing. It will not be a shocker like it was when we went from a $2,000 acquisition fee to a $7,000 acquisition fee, and that's the approach that we're kind of taking. And so Gary will lay out the analysis first with item G, which is the acquisition fee. At the conclusion of each item, we do need a motion and a decision whether to adopt or not from the board. So go ahead, Gary.
Thank you. As Phil said, there's not a huge jump. There's nothing earth-shattering in the update. Really, the only update that we made is the district over the last year has secured a water lease with Dean Word for additional Edwards rights. So that was added to the plan. And then we added, it's column K on the summary sheet, that's the last sheet of the study, and it's basically expanded groundwater supplies. You have several projects in the pipeline that you're evaluating for large amounts of water. We wanted those projects in there, so whenever expenses come up under those projects, if they're studies or buy-in fees, you have a pool of money to be able to use to secure those. It doesn't change the dollar amount that much because you're adding expense, but you're also adding services that you can add. So another round of EDUs or living unit equivalents. So it doesn't significantly change the calculation, but it's just adding those projects and adding the services that would be provided by those projects. So in the end, the current fee for water acquisition is $6,991.23 per EDU. We're the maximum allowable based on the calculation is $7,480.77. So you could set the fee anywhere between 0 and $7,480.87. And again, the current fee is $69.91. I don't know if staff has a recommendation on where to go with that, but the previous study, the board elected to go to the full maximum allowable.
Yeah, so for the staff recommendation on this thing, so consistent with our first approach, we recommend that we go with the 7480.77. And like Gary said, that was a dramatic cost escalation on our on our Edwards Aquifer leases. So that's included, and we do need to recover that moving forward. So we believe 7480 is reasonable. It's about a $500 or so, $100 increase. We think that keeps us on market, and that's our recommendation.
7,480.77 cents.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 87 or 77?
77.
Let's see.
I see 77.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a typo. It should just be 77.
77, yeah. The very last page, if you have the memo, I don't know if you do or not, but yeah, the last page is 7,480.77.
Yep.
So the construction committee looked at this. We've talked about this. Our recommendation and, discussion with Mr. Basham was we have a lot of projects coming and have funding to pay for these projects. To quote Dennis Dreyer from many years ago, the former board president, we don't want what did he say? He didn't want the pig farmer that's been a customer for 50 years to fund the future expansions. So it's very reasonable, in my opinion, to put the development costs on the new development as appropriate. So I don't think the committee took action for a recommendation on this, but seems very reasonable and logical to me.
correct.
Okay. All right. With that, do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve and accept the recommendation of staff to increase water acquisition fees, to the recommended amount of $7,480.77 per EDU as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. And the effective date that this will be implemented is when?
It'll be 30 days, so
30
we'll do it 1 May.
30-day notice. Okay.
Yeah, we
so-
should have mentioned that. We'll give notice for 30 days, and then we'll implement on the 1st of May.
Okay. Thank you very much. Moving on to item H. Review and approve contribution in aided construction, also known as kayak, fee for Clearwater Creek wastewater treatment facility. Gary.
Yes, so this is just a simple analysis. Basically, what we did was we just recently the board awarded the contract for the Clearwater plant. So we took those costs and spread them over the EDUs that plant will provide service to. So it's just a simple calculation of the cost divided by the number of EDUs and carrying that forward. So as Phil had mentioned, the developer's paying for the first phase of this project through 2 different developments. But you need to set the fee just so that that contract can be fulfilled, and really no revenue into the district at this point. The developer's paying for everything. We just need to set the fee so that we can keep the book straight.
Would the units that the developer is building, would they pay this fee to Green Valley?
So the first, basically the cost they're paying right now for the wastewater treatment plant covers the first 334 units or houses that go in. And then after that, the kayak fee would be paid in for the expansion and this.
So the capacity of the phase 1 plant covers 334 EDUs worth.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So then if we don't collect these fees, how do we have funding to pay the next?
That's
Or is that going to be a?
We don't have the bond right now. There is, so right now we're,
Future.
yes, in the future. Right now, we're collecting only for it was a .2 expansion. And I believe the developer is still, responsible for at least,
Another 100,000.
Uh,
So
it
the
was
the
100,
total
yeah.
permit is 400,000 gallons per day. The developer's paying for 300, and Green Valley is under contract for the last 100,000 to get it up to the
400.
So that's really what this is. If you look at the back page of the memo, it's only for 100,000 gallon per day capacity. That's the Green Valley portion that's not paid by the developer.
Correct.
As the 300, the units that make up the 300,000 of
Correct.
capacity, don't collect those, but as we cross that barrier into
Right.
that last
One-
100,000,
yeah.
then a trigger.
The
Yes.
developer's getting credit for their upfront cash expense, and then once that runs out, then they pay the fee to finance the last 100,000. And that's the way that their contract's set up, that Green Valley's building the last 100,000 of the 400,000 gallon per day
And then we'll
plant.
just have to track and
Correct. Yeah, and we're on top of tracking it.
They'll pay this to us.
on the last
On
100,000.
the last.
On the last, right?
Yeah. And by that time, we should have more than 334 houses on the ground.
Correct, right.
But I think I totally pick it up what you're smelling, right? What you're smelling is, we're going to build the EDUs, the capacity up this much. And then we're not going to collect this fees until we get future contracts, right?
Right.
So yeah, could there be a timing gap where we would have to figure out a funding solution? Sure. But if you set the fee, then we know what to charge, because what'll happen is it always does, these fees will get paid right earlier, way before they ever go vertical, right? So if there's a timing issue, it's a cash flow issue, and we'll have to solve it,
Right.
how we solve that gap, but at least the fee is set. But you're smelling the right thing. I mean, absolutely, there could be a timing gap.
But the facility
Yeah,
will be fully built out, fully funded
yeah,
by
Yes.
the developer.
that's right,
Yes.
So
They've
we don't have
actually
to worry
given
about that
us.
part. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
collecting the other
that's right.
part of it
Yes, sir.
on our end. Okay.
Yeah, we actually have half the cost of the facility in hand as we speak.
Right. They've already
Right.
paid that.
But we don't have to go bonding anything anytime or anything like that,
Right.
right? Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
No,
So,
not foreseen.
So the recommendation is for the Clearwater plant to set the fee at $7,904.69.
And staff concurs with that
Yes.
number as well for all those same reasons.
okay. All right, with that, do I have a motion?
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we set the kayak fee for the Clearwater wastewater treatment facility at $7,904.69 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Sherman, second by Mr. King. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Moving on to item I, review and approve contribution in aid of construction, also known as kayak, fee for Santa Clara wastewater treatment facility.
So on this one, it's just a simple update, and really the update is the .5 MGD plant is in service and that project's closed out, so we know what the final cost is. So that's been updated in the study. And the other minor change is we took off any expenses attributable to the .25 MGD. That one's fully allocated by contract, and you're ahead on getting kayak fees because the kayak fees are paid at construction plan approval, so you don't have those services contributing flow today, but you have the capital contribution from the developer. So we took that .25 off because it's fully allocated, so we don't need to secure any cost from that any further. So you've already fully funded that piece of it. So those are the changes. The current fee is $7,398.94, and the maximum allowable is $7,983.67, and the recommendation is to go to the maximum allowable.
Okay.
So again, on this one, I mean, it's a modest increase, right? But the point is, we're adjusting for time and space as we're flying forward. You know, as we get through the design more on the 1.25, we know we're going to have a big capital outlay, and we're looking at it in 27. So we just want to have the fee set correctly.
Right.
So we recommend approval of 7983.67.
I'll make a motion that we set the Santa Clara Creek kayak fee at $7,398.94 as
Correction.
presented.
No, that's the old one. That's the old one.
Oh, I didn't get down there. I apologize.
Like how everybody
And
jacked
D,
it.
I'm reading the wrong
Whoa,
there
whoa,
it is.
whoa.
Wait a minute.
Thank you, everybody. I make a motion, so strike the first motion. I make a motion that we set the Santa Clara Creek kayak fee at $7,983.67.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Sherman.
I'll second.
I have a second by Mr. Robertson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. All right, going to item J, review and approve an amendment to the GVSUD capitalization policy. Mr. Gage and Gina.
Okay, Jeannie, do you want to talk about this one?
This one's just a very simple change. We had some duplicate accounts, like we had shop and equipment, and then we had building and equipment. So I just moved shop and building to building and equipment to vehicles and equipment because we had 3 accounts. But very minor changes.
Awesome. Okay, does anybody have any questions, concerns on the
Yeah, I
documents
want to make a
provided?
comment on that. The Finance and Investment Committee did look over this capitalization policy, and we do recommend approval.
Awesome. Okay, keep up the good work, Gina. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the capitalization policy as written.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. McDaniel, a second by Mr. Robertson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. Like easy little changes here and there. All right, going to item K, here updates on the items below from GVSUD General Counsel, pending and threatened litigation, legal challenges affecting the district.
I
What
have
do you got for us?
one new matter under pending or threatened litigation to discuss in executive session, so we'll do that then.
Okay, so we'll take K1. All right. So now at this time, which is 10:07, we're going to go into executive session in accordance with Texas Government Code Section 551.071-551.074 to take items, let's see, K1 per Shan. And we're also going to take E3, 4, and 5 and items M into executive session. We'll do a 10-minute recess and then we'll start at 10:18. Thank you. Good, David? All righty, so we're coming back into open session and a lot time is 11:28. We've handled all the matters that needed to be talked about. We have no action to be taken at this time on any of those matters. So that was N. On item O, consideration for proposed items on next month's board meeting agenda. We have anything specific? If not, please get with Gage on any of those issues or comments, concerns, and then moving on to item P, motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No? Okay. All right. So the ayes have it. Time is 11:29.